All right, so now what we're going to do is look at a few examples. These are in Vertex form right now. We're going to list our A, H, and K, and then kind of explain the movement of what's going to happen on the graph and what the vertex actually is. So, our A here, notice, do we have a number out front? We don't see one, so it's known that the number there is going to be 1. Here we have x minus 7. So our h here, the opposite of minus 7 would be a positive 7. So that's how you write it. Again, if that's a minus 7, we've got to write it down as a positive 7. And then our k is whatever this number is, which is 2. That number stays the way it is. The only thing that switches or flips is right here. That flips, or you take the opposite when you're writing it. So that was x minus 7, so now h is just 7. So our vertex, I don't know if I went over this in the previous video, but our vertex, all it is just our h and our k. Okay, well, hey, we know our h and k, so our vertex here is just 7, 2. That's our vertex. Our vertex for this problem is 7, 2. Now, which way is this going to move? Well, 7 is going to move, that's right 7, and then the 2 is going to move up 2. And that's how we'd get to our vertex from 0, 0. We would move right 7 and up 2. An extension problem for something like this would be, is this a maximum or minimum? And for this vertex, is this going to be a maximum or minimum? And all you have to do when finding max and min, when looking at vertex form, is look at your A. Okay? If your A is positive, like it is here, that means our graph looks like this. So our graph's positive, so is that a max or min? That is a minimum. So our vertex is 7, 2, and that is going to be a minimum. Because, again, our A was positive, so our graph looks like this, and our vertex is just 7, 2, based on the information that we got. Let's look at the next couple here. So what is our A here? Our A is negative 3. That's what it says. Our h, remember, we take the opposite of what we see here, so it says x plus 6, so our h is going to be negative 6, and our k is going to be 13. So our vertex is just our h and our k, so there's our h, there's our k, so it's negative 6, 13. Now which way do we move here? So that minus 6 is going to be left 6, and that 13 is going to be up 13. Now here's a tricky part. I want you to pay attention to this with our A. So our A is negative 3. First off, notice, is it positive or negative? It is negative, so that means it's going to reflect over the x-axis. So all that means is our graph will go down. That's all that means right there. That negative means it's going to go down. Now the next part is the 3. See the 3 on its own. Don't see it as connected to that negative. So the 3 is on its own. So 3 is greater than 1, so that means it is going to stretch. So our A proves that it's going to reflect over the x-axis. It's going to stretch, then it's going to go left 6 and up 13. Now, is this going to be a max or min? Notice at the top of our graph, our vertex is going to be a maximum. Because, again, our A shows us that after it reflects, notice it turns into a mountain and not a valley there. All right, last but not least, let's look at the third problem here. So our A, just got a little, trying to zoom in, get it nice. There we go. Our A here is 2 over 5. Our H is the opposite of that, so it would be a positive 1. And our K, which is just negative 4. So our vertex is just our H and our K. So it would be 1, negative 4. That's our vertex. The 1, the H, is going to go right 1. And the 4 is going to go down 4 because it's negative. And our A, is it positive or negative? Okay, it is a positive 2 over 5, so that means the graph will go up. So notice we have a vertex right there. 2 over 5 is a fraction. It's less than 1 but greater than 0. So it's going to shrink. Remember, we learned about that in the last video. It's going to shrink. So we have a shrink of 2 over 5. It's going to go right 1, down 4, and our vertex is at a max or min, and that is a minimum. A minimum. Good. I know this is a longer video, but again, goes into detail about vertex form and how to break it down and look at things like that. So be sure to go back and rewatch this, ask questions in class, because I really want everybody to get this right on the test. Have a great